What's up, man? It's your boy MoonDog38732 from the MoonDog38732 show on YouTube. Hey, man, watch the show, like the show, share the show, subscribe, and comment. As well as hit me up at the MoonDog38732show.com. I got my merchandise there. You know, it's duck season, rabbit season. You know what I'm saying? I got my stuff, got my blog there. Also, the MoonDog38732 show podcast. I'm trying to build a conglomerate, as well as a network of people that we can help each other out. With that being said, I have a very, very special guest with me today. She's the proprietor, the creator, the owner, the baker, the chef-in-chief. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. I am Shelby Morgan. I am the owner of e-commerce vegan bakery, Grub It Up, LLC. Thank you so much for having me today, Dwayne.
Hey, that's what we do. Like I said, off camera, we're trying to build a network, a conglomerate, a place where we can lean on each other instead of waiting for somebody else to give us an okay for something, right?
Right.
So what is your profession? We know that you are a baker, but what is your profession?
Yeah, okay, so a little bit about me. I actually have a digital marketing background. I am from here. I went to the University of Houston, so go Cougs. I have a bachelor degree in public relations with a minor in business marketing. And I have an executive MBA for my master's degree from Texas Women's University. So love marketing. I love creating things. I'm very big on making something out of nothing. And I have an analytical mind, but I have a very creative mind. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. And I discovered when I was 19 that I wanted to go into like communications and marketing. When I actually went to college, I got into U of H for electrical engineering. Growing up, I was very into science and math on the robotics team in the summer. My parents would send me off to architecture or engineering camp. And I just thought that is what I should do. But being on campus and being exposed to different things and different people and just figuring out what made me happy, what made me laugh, and, you know, what I could wake up and, you know, be motivated by was being creative with my mind, with writing, with putting things together. So I got into the marketing space. And from there, you know, by the time I got ready to graduate about a year and a half before, I knew I wanted to continue my education. I took the GRE and decided to go get my MBA. And it was a great opportunity. And I continued to learn more. And I learned during that program, I thought I went to go to corporate America, but I realize now that I went to get an executive MBA to be the CEO of my own company, not to make somebody else money. So I have, you know, an array of backgrounds in digital marketing. You know, currently I actually work in healthcare as a web and marketing analyst. So it's something that I continue to do. Most recently, I actually was a teaching assistant. I taught at Rice University for an entire year. I taught in their digital marketing boot camp. I love giving back to people. I love helping young people on their path, especially for a career that I'm passionate about. And I love to bake. Food is my love, right? And so, you know, I take my marketing knowledge and my passion for that, and I put it into my business to promote it and help it grow. But if I'm in the kitchen or if I'm able to write or create something really cool, that is who I am. That's my background.
With that being said, that is very impressive. And that is also the definition of multifaceted. If you ever want to look up multifaceted in dictionary, you will see Shelby's pictures beside now. Like I said, I've already bought some chocolate chip cookies from her, some peanut butter cookies from her, some brownies, and some oatmeal cookies, and the lemon sauce, which I've been putting my lemon sauce on the fish when I put it in my easy bake oven over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's wonderful. So I'm going to talk to you about that marketing side of things, because, you know, I want to let people know what I'm doing as well, as because I'm, you know, getting interviews out and I'm trying to get people out there. So I'm going to also talk to you about that.
We can tap
off the camera. Now, with that being said, I can't hear you anymore. So with that being said, tell us about your vegan baking. Why vegan baking?
Okay, yeah. So let me start with this. So I am so familiar with baked goods, right? I think we all grew up having cookies from my grandma or our mom, right? Baking them for Santa Claus. And so for me, baking is love. You can't bake and do it in an evil or condescending way. Like, unless you're a serial killer, right? Like, you have to bake and be in a good mood. So baking for me is nostalgia. It means happiness, it means love, and, you know, it's pure enjoyment. And that's one of the main reasons that I do it, right? The number one reason I do it is to promote health, right? To help people tap in to helping the environment, right? To helping animals, to helping their body. So I got started really baking myself in college, right? I've always loved cupcakes. I love how they look. I love how they taste. And I was a cupcake queen, quote unquote, in college. So whether it was for an organization I was in, for a friend's birthday, or for a Super Bowl party, I baked the cupcakes, and I would bake them from scratch, right? I don't like that box stuff. We ain't getting that over here, right? This is homemade baked goods. And so that was my starting point, right? And then from there, honestly, how I got started with Grub It Up was I love food. I'm a foodie, right? Like I love the idea of creating something in the kitchen and just building the formulas, you know, looking at it from a scientific method. 'Cause like I said, my mind is still very analytical and very engineered based, but I like to do it from a food standpoint because food is science at the end of the day, right? You have to create and put it together and build a chemical reaction. So for me, you know, with all of those things that I just said, I was like, okay, well, I love all these things. Like, what can I do? And I created a food Instagram. In 2013, I went to Las Vegas with my friend. I turned 21 and I was eating all this amazing food, right, on the Vegas Strip. And I created this Instagram called Grub It Up. And I started posting different things with pictures of things I would make. And that is how Grub It Up took off. Like that was the first ever Grub It Up platform, and the same Grub It Up name. That's the same Instagram from 2013. I have not changed it at all. But being a college student, being in your 20s, I was trying to figure out life, trying to navigate, you know, really find myself. And so Grub It Up was on and off, right? I might do it for 3 months, not do it. And then when I went to grad school, I mean, I was working part-time, trying to get my MBA, trying to figure out my next career move. So it really was just cut off and put on the back burner, right? So one day I went to happy hour in 2018 around Thanksgiving break with two of my coworkers. One of them I'm very close friends with. And they were like, hey, like, you should really pick up back doing Grub It Up. You should really push it, start posting again. And I'm like, okay. So I started posting it again and again. And then I created a blog. And I would, you know, go and write about my travel and what I ate when I traveled, you know, what I was cooking. I even created a YouTube channel for Grub It Up and was doing cooking videos. Like I really started to tap into it. And then I got laid off in June of 2019 from my corporate job in energy and oil. And I had this free time, right? But I had to stay. You know, corporate America makes you stay even after you get laid off. I didn't really leave till the end of September 2019. And so I had more time and I kept doing my blog, kept doing my food posting. And then at the end of the year, you know, the new year started and I'm like, hey, how can I monetize this? Like, what can I do with Grub It Up? And it was in the back of my mind. And then when the pandemic happened, I had a lot of free time, right? Because nobody was hiring. And I had all this time to really craft my business and my brand. And I had this book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I had it for a long time, never had opened it. And I love to read, I just hadn't opened it. And I read that book and it changed my life and motivated me to launch my business. And my mom was like, Shelby, you're so good at cooking. You're so good at baking. Start with that. Baking is easy because it's something that you can take out and give to people that you can cook in your home under cottage law without having to put in too much capital or overhead, right? Not because it's easy, but the sense of it's an easy food. It's just enjoyable food that you can make in your home with all you need is a food handler's permit. I said, okay. So I started baking with banana bread, chocolate chip cookies, and my brownies. Those were the first 3 things I ever tried baking that were vegan. Trust me, I got burned, cut, bled, stuff melted in the oven. Okay, like it was not an easy beginning. And I actually, the 4th thing I did was bake for my dogs. I have 2 schnauzers. I have a toy party schnauzer and a mini schnauzer, and I care about their health too, right? So I started baking vegan dog treats for them. And honestly, I walked in the heat in my suburb, tapped on doors, handed out samples to my neighbors. I didn't even have cards then at all. I had nothing. And then my friends and family were the first people to buy from me. And I'm like, man, like I need to tap in. Like I can monetize it. This is doing really good, right? Like people actually like it. So I added a, oh my God, a restaurant tab on my blog, right? It was full of food blogs. There was nothing vegan on there. I just added a restaurant bakery tab and put those 3 items on there. And then after that, I ended up getting a business advisor with the Small Business Development Center. They're actually government funded by SBA. It is free for anyone who needs help with anything from a logo to what should I name my business? Anyone that wants to start a business, even if you just have the idea, they help you as a business owner from ground up, no cost at all, because we already pay for it as taxpayers. And I used to work there as a consultant part-time when I was in grad school. So I went from working there to being someone who was a client, and they helped me. My friend that's an attorney helped me do my LLC. And by the first week of June, I did my first pop-up in 3rd Ward and I sold out. And I knew then that Grub It Up was something. I had something that it meant something and that I should keep blooming it and doing something with it. And, you know, it is what it is today because of me just getting started and me just going after it. Lastly, why I bake vegan is because of the fact that it really does help people that have underlying health conditions. It helps the planet. It doesn't add to the carbon footprint here on Earth, putting toxins in the environment. The planet is already going through a lot with global warming and everything. So if you eat anything vegan, especially a vegan baked good, not only will you be happy, not only will you enjoy it, but you're helping your body. You won't feel sluggish. You won't feel groggy. You won't have that nasty upsetness in your stomach, because I use pure organic coconut sugar. And to happen to that again, I actually have an autoimmune disease. I have Sjogren's syndrome. It is a chronic autoimmune disease that affects your glands in your eyes, glands in your mouth. It can make you feel fatigued. So it's something near and dear to me to eat really healthy and eat well. So I'm a foodie, but I actually really watch what I eat and what I put in my body. I'm a flexitarian, so I eat predominantly vegan, vegetarian, but I do eat some meat here and there. But the only meat I eat is seafood, and every now and then I'll have a steak. But beyond that, I eat predominantly plant-based. And after that, my mom actually has lupus, and she's had it for about 30 years. And so watching my mom go through her health and her sickness, and she also was a cancer survivor. She had breast cancer. And then I have my autoimmune disease. My grandmother had rheumatoid arthritis. So these are all hereditary. So it's important to me, after seeing my grandmother, die from arthritis, rheumatoid, other health issues, be on dialysis, watching my mom have lupus and cancer. I know that what you put in your body, I know 80% of your health is your diet, not what the doctors tell you, not all those pills. And so I said, why not start with something nutritious to, motivate and move my brand. And so Grub It Up means a lot to me in a lot of aspects, right? So not only helping the environment, helping my family, helping myself, helping the world. Like I had a student, her daughter has celiac disease, so you can't have gluten, right? And so that means, so gluten is pretty much a nutrient that has no nutritious value at all, right? So you can find it in both like rye, barley, wheat, grains, and people that have celiac disease are triggered by gluten in their immune system. So, and she had one of my donuts. Her daughter ordered some donuts from me, and she's like 12 or 13, and she had never had a donut in her life. And she said she was so thankful for the first time to ever have a donut, because she couldn't find any that she could eat with her condition. So things like that motivate me to cook vegan, right? All those things I just told you make me want to continue doing what I'm doing with my brand.
All right. Now, you all heard it say, what you put in your body is the reason why a lot of the diseases and things that we have. I was even looking at the documentary, and I was reading that a lot of what we have is because what we have in our gut. It's just there, it's just sitting around, and it's festering, and it's causing disease, right? So now I'm going to tell the audience this now. I had tried some vegan things before. So when I was introduced to Shelby, I was skeptical of the product. I was skeptical of how it was going to taste, because I've had some things that, it's going to taste good. It tastes like some rocks, or it tastes like some sand patties. You know what I'm saying? Oh, try this right here for breakfast. I tried that. I'm gonna like, this is bad. So when I got into the car, I tasted. I'm like, okay, cool. The first one was cool. I said, now let me try the other one. I tried the other one. Like, oh, we got it. You know what I'm saying? She really knows what she's doing. She's not just talking about it. She's not just trying to hype everybody up, because she knows that the product is a representation of her. Now, you heard what she said. She has this, and this. And she also had time, and she also had drive, and she also had know-how, and she wanted to make it happen. She didn't just sit around and say, woe is me, sit around like I did, ate a bunch of stuff 3 times a day. I'm from the great state of Mississippi, where we didn't really grow up doing the vegan thing. We kind of grew up eating everything from the rooter to the tutor. So, you know what I'm saying? Right. So now that I am on this little journey, getting my exercise in, eating better, I haven't had, matter of fact, I'm trying to remember the last time I had some fried chicken. It's been a while. So I've been, I've been baking, I've been eating a lot of fish, I've been getting some more green vegetables in my life. Now, y'all heard about the motivation. Y'all heard about her profession. Y'all heard about her business. Y'all heard about this and that. But something that people may not know, what is the difference between vegan and vegetarian? Because sometimes those words are thrown out there, but people don't really know what they are.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with this. So vegan, right, is no animal products. There's no butter, there's no milk, there's no dairy. There can be nothing in there that comes from an animal, right? So it's purely plant-based, right? So you can call it vegan or plant-based, whatever term you want to use, right? Vegetarian is you eat dairy, so you eat butter, you eat milk, you eat eggs, you eat cheese, you just don't eat any meat, right?
Gotcha.
But you do eat products that come from animals, right? But you don't eat the animal itself.
Okay.
Is that a good?
Yeah, it makes sense. Now I'm gonna let y'all know this. Like I said, I when I had tried those other products, when I bit into her cookies, right? And that brown, I'm like, how is this thing so soft? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to circle back around and ask for a recipe, but I wasn't gonna do that. Oh. And at the same time, I put the products in the freezer. I got them out the freezer. Now I was still testing them out, and I bit into it right at the freezer, and they were still soft. The brown was still soft and everything. And I was telling Sherry off camera, I had to put the stuff in the fridge for the new orders because I was going into the light. I was partaking of these things too much. That's how good they really are. All right. So wait, I talk about the ingredients.
I wanted to add this on really quickly. So what people also don't know are there is ovo vegetarians, right? So I told you what a vegan is. I told you what a vegetarian is. Mm-hmm. Ovo vegetarian, they include eggs in their diet. They don't include any other dairy or meat. The only thing they eat is eggs as far as what would be dairy animal based, right? Okay. So vegans, no meat, no dairy, no animal products. Vegetarian still includes eggs, still includes dairy, still includes animal products. Ovo vegetarian includes eggs, but that's the only dairy, no other meat, no poultry or seafood. Then you have a lacto, L-A-C-T-O vegetarian. This includes dairy, but excludes meat, poultry, seafood, and eggs.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this and take notes.
We might have to run it back, spin the block. Okay.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this. Now, there's a lot of people they're leaning toward being vegan. They're going into leaning toward being vegetarian. A lot of people like juicing and things like that. Do you have any like advice for people that are leaning toward being vegan or vegetarian, anything like that? Because some people are skeptical.
I think the first thing you should know is that you're doing this for your health. You're doing it for you. You're doing it to live longer. You're doing it to be around your family, to be around your friends. So if your health and your life matters to you, then I highly recommend that you lean more toward a plant-based diet. I am not here to tell anyone not to eat meat, not to eat your fried chicken, not to have your catfish. I'm just saying that I want you to eat more of plant-based products. I want your diet to not be 80% meat and 20% veggies. Your diet should be 20% meat and 80% plant-based, right? You should have more veggies and rice and grains on your plate than you do of an animal, right? Because you are also consuming that animal, that living being, and their life, and you're taking that on. So think about that, right? Because that is what really matters. And I think you should tap in slowly, right? I'm not telling you to go cold turkey and become a vegan or vegetarian overnight. I'm telling you, start with eating one vegan or vegetarian snack a day. Take out the candy, take out the cheese and dip, have maybe some celery sticks and peanut butter, right? Have some hummus and crackers. Start with a vegan or vegetarian snack, then work your way into replacing one of your meals. So most people eat 3 meals a day. So for a meal substitute, have a strawberry banana almond milk smoothie, or have some avocado toast with vegan cream cheese and tomatoes on it for breakfast, okay, right? And maybe for lunch, make you a veggie Chipotle bowl. We all go to Chipotle, just subtract the meat. You'll get you some rice, some bell peppers, some tomatoes, some black beans, maybe season, scribble up some tofu. If you don't like tofu, add in some potatoes, right? Add in some chickpeas, add in something into your bowl that is balanced, and you can season it up, make it flavorful, make it taste good, right? So start with a snack, then lead to replacing a meal, and you go from there. And eventually you'll feel better, you'll wake up better, you'll have more energy.
Okay. With that being said, she wants a hot dog with everything except a hot dog. All right. So we know that there are multiple companies that may do the same thing that you do. Just like you go to Walmart, you're gonna see in the cold medicine aisles, like it's a whole row of cold medicine. You go to the water aisles, a whole row of water. Why should people buy from Grub It Up?
So I'm going to tell people this. There is always going to be another competitor, no matter what. I don't care if there are 10 hamburger joints on the street. No one is you. No one is your hamburger joint, right? And that's how I look at myself. There are people that make vegan baked goods. There are people that, cook vegan or eat vegan or whatever, and they call themselves a baker or a chef, and that's fine. They probably are all those things. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, if you want to start a business, that you are uniquely you, right? And so that's how I feel about myself. And so you should know that as a customer, as whether you're vegan curious or you are vegan or you're vegetarian, that no one is me. No one is going to bake my baked goods how I bake them. And so that is what makes me stand out. You haven't had my stuff before because you haven't met me and you haven't tried it. And someone could literally use the same sugar or whatever they want, but it's never going to taste the same because we're two different people and we think and create different in the kitchen. So number one, that's what makes me unique. Number two is that I use coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is, to me, the healthiest sugar that I feel like you can have, right? I'm so sorry. My iPhone is tied to.
It's cool. Listen,
laptop,
we understand. We understand.
Let me cut it off. Okay, so my apologies about that. Yeah, people.
It's okay. It happens.
They want the baked goods. That's why they're hitting me up.
Right.
So yeah, back to what I was saying. Anyway, is so coconut sugar is unique. I think it's the best one because I don't know if you know this, but most sugars aren't vegan. Okay, most sugar is not white. Let's start with that.
No, it actually it's bleached, right?
It's not bleached. So sugar, anything sugar has a tint to it. You're not gonna get some sugar canes that are still white. They actually process it in bone char, which is animal bone. Okay, so it is not vegan at all. Coconut sugar comes from the sap of the actual coconut, right? And it actually has a natural sweetener, and it is also an electrolyte, right? Which is good for your body and processing, okay? And it also has inulin in it. Inulin is good for your gut health, right? And it just helps you overall with your stomach. And when you eat some desserts, you might feel bloated, you might feel groggy, like I said before. You don't have that when you eat coconut sugar, right? And so it's pretty much a fiber, right? A natural fiber when you're having coconut sugar. So I use coconut sugar in 99.9% of my products. The only thing I don't use coconut sugar is for my red velvet cupcakes. And I use a vegan white sugar, and it's purely vegan. It's a vegan white sugar that I actually use. And so it's not cooked in bone char, and it doesn't, do anything that would be harmful to anybody. Okay. So, I think people have sugar aligned with taste good, and they have vegan aligned with being tasteless, but that is not the case, right? And I have had dry, non-flavorful or altered vegan food that doesn't sit well with me. And I know it's not the real thing, but no one can ever tell me that my products don't taste like the real thing, because what is the real thing? The real thing is whatever I tell you it is, right? If I tell you it's vegan, I bake it with vegan products, it's vegan. So yeah, that is a little bit about, what I do and what I use and what makes me unique, besides the fact that it is me, and besides the fact that I'm using this coconut sugar. I have my own handcrafted recipes that I've designed and altered for me, right? So even if you made some vegan cookies, right, it would be MoonDog's vegan cookies, right? And so we just show these vegan cookies, and the burns and the cuts and the bleeding and the meltdowns in the oven is what really, has crafted my recipes and what's crafted my products and what people taste. They taste the difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you go to before COVID hit, we used to have like Thanksgiving parties and all the people get together, or people get together and make things like that. And in some cases where you could be at your friend's house and you would say, well, who bought this potato salad? Well, Shelby made this. Or who made the other potato salad? Well, Julia made that. Well, we know Julia, she okay, but hers ain't as good as Shelby's. So everybody knock out Shelby's first, and then as a secondary choice, they'll go to Julia's. We're not saying that Julia can't cook, but it's just not as good as Shelby. So we're going to take care of Shelby's first and knock that out. We're not saying that nobody else isn't good.
Right.
But I know, speaking for myself, which I have the orders and the receipts, Shelby's is really, really good. Shelby, what is the ultimate goal of your business?
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. The ultimate goal of my business, for me is to be a global vegan food and hospitality brand, right? I want everyone in this country to say they at least tried a baked good from me, from my recipe. That is my ultimate goal at the end of the day.
Okay. I can actually see you, like your cookies, like in hotels, you know how they had to set the cookies out and stuff like that when guests come in. Right. I can actually see your cookies out there in like the hotels and stuff like that. So, you know, I can see it.
You might just giving me an idea.
Hold on, let me jot that down. Yeah. That's why people come together. Ideas. Sometimes you never thought of stuff. Just like people help me. I'm like, I never thought of it. And I'm thinking to myself, why haven't I never thought of it?
Right. People have helped encourage and motivate and craft my business just because of a conversation, right? That I could have. Right. And I've never thought about that. You just gave me an idea. Hell, let's see what I can do with it.
That'll be a cooler situation. All right. Where can people reach you? I know that, we are here now, the MoonDog Show, but where can people reach you? Where can they reach your business at?
So you can reach my business. First of all, let's go with social media. You can find me on Instagram, right, at GRUBITUP. Again, that's Grub It Up at GRUBITUP. Follow me on Instagram, hit me up. I'm posting where my pop-ups are at, posting pictures of my food, what I'm doing in the community. You can also, most importantly, find me on my website. So it is an e-commerce bakery. That means I don't have a brick and mortar. I don't have cookies on standby in my dining room. I bake to order, e-commerce. You go on there, you have the menu, you add to your cart, you can check out my products. I do shipping all throughout the United States and the state of Texas. I do delivery within a 30-mile radius. And as you know, Dwayne, you can also come pick it up from my house.
Right.
You'll get the Addy when you place the order, not before then. But that is where you can find me again, www.grubitup.org, Insta at grubitup, and on Facebook at Grub It Up Foodie. So GRUBITUPFOODIE.
And for those who do not know this, Shelby, when you make an order and she plays it, per her customer service skills and her marketing skills, she actually responds to the things that you send. She actually lets you know what the business is. And believe it or not, she did not take a month or two to get you your stuff. But that's something for another.
That's another topic. Business owners that don't follow through.
Right. So are you working on anything new, like any new flavors, or are you working on any new recipes, or do you just have your set amount of recipes and you're going to make sure that they're the best?
So number one, I'm always going to make sure that my recipes are the best, right? The ones that I have on my website. Like I said, I started with banana breads, cookies, and brownies, plain chocolate chip, plain brownies, and plain banana bread. I have elevated that. I have 4 different types of banana breads. I have a couple different versions of oatmeal raisin, different versions of chocolate chip cookies, different versions of brownies. That has grown. My business is always cultivating, but at the same time, I don't want 800 different things, so it's not overwhelming. I want it to be locally based. I want it to have that home good feel, but I also want people to always have a variety. So what I do is during certain seasons, I have new things coming up. So fall is coming up, honey. So let me tell you what that means. That means pumpkin spice, cinnamon, fall flavors are about to be out, right? That is one of my favorite things to bake. I love fall. I love the weather. I love the spices and the things that go into it that give it that warm and fuzzy feeling. So expect some fall flavors coming out. Christmas, expect one of my favorite bestsellers. It is a combination of chocolate chip and marshmallows, okay? These are my fireside cookies. Okay, then I have my fireside crunch cookies, which have marshmallow and pretzels infused, so salty and sweet for the holidays. And I'm gonna be coming out with some other new things that I'm working on right now. We'll keep that for a surprise till we see it on the website, but expect some fall and holiday centered items that you can enjoy with your loved ones and family and friends. Get them as gifts, order for your corporate parties for your job. You know, that's what I'm really trying to tap into next. Just trying to get out there into the corporate catering world for my vegan baked goods. So
cool. Let me speak to Patty LaBelle. Patty LaBelle, this is MoonDog38732. You got some competition on your hands. So if you see us up in there taking your stuff down off the table and putting up, Grub It Up, it's nothing personal. It's all business. But thank you, Miss Patty.
It's all love, Patty.
It's all love. All right. Is there anything else you want to add or you want people to know? I'm gonna tell people this. Man, go ahead and place your orders. You will not be disappointed. It's local. It's a Black-owned business. It's good. You know what I'm saying? I got the receipts, and you know me. I'm not going to sit out there and tell y'all to do something or buy something if I haven't tried it myself, or if I haven't tasted, or if I haven't, made sure straight. So I wouldn't just put y'all out there. So go ahead, Shelby. Let's close it out. How you want this thing to close out?
I just want to say a few things. I want people to know why I love what I do at the end of the day. The people that I've reached who've tried my baked goods and the people I haven't reached, just know Grub It Up has a long way to go. Grub It Up is a hidden gem, to say the very least. Not only do I desire to do something that I love, which is food and what is baking, but who doesn't want to wake up and do something every day and have the life they want and financial freedom by doing something that they're passionate about? And that is what Grub It Up is for me. Quitting is not an option. Success for me is doing something each day to work toward my goals for my business and celebrating the small wins. And I want to motivate any small business owner, anyone trying to get started out there, celebrate the small wins. Things are not going to look all put together when you first start. When I started in the heat, walking around in my neighborhood, I had questions. Should I be doing this? Should I not be doing it? But you have to celebrate that walk up and down the street. You got to celebrate when you don't sell out at an event. You got to celebrate when you do burn somebody's stuff in the kitchen and have to remake it, because that is going to happen. You have to celebrate your losses because they're just as important as your major wins, right? So I want people to know that. And I want people to also know that I really do put my mind, my body, my thought, my soul, my love into what I do, because I really do want to help people. I want to stop harming animals. I want you to stop putting in so many bad things into your body that you can enjoy in small doses, but eat more of the good stuff. My motto is chew, savor, smile. And that is how I want you to experience what I bake. I want you to chew it. I want you to savor it. And I want you to smile at the end, because you really will enjoy it. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to bake for all of you.
Well, hey, I couldn't put it any better than that. Thank you, Shelby. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to doctor on it. I'm going to tag you in it. I'm going to let you know when it's ready. Hey, man, we'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for tuning into the MoonDog38732 show, man. We out.
I'm out.